It's a perfect late autumn day, nice and sunny and cool, and we're off for a day ride of about 300 kilometres. So today I'm going to discuss what the essential elements of a perfect day ride are. As we all know, perfection doesn't come naturally. You got to work at it. But before I get into explaining the 8 elements of a perfect day ride, let me just explain where we're going today. Leaving from home, we live in a semi-rural area, so there's no commuting through traffic or cities. We're straight into the bush, cross a bit of a dirt road, and then into the countryside, along the Yarramalong Valley. The Yarramalong Valley is on the east coast of New South Wales and about 100 kilometres north of Sydney. This section of road is very familiar to us as we usually ride up here on a Sunday morning early for coffee at Jerry's Kitchen. When you come to the end of the valley at Yarramalong itself, just a tiny little place with a couple of shops, you eventually start winding up Bumble Hill. Beautiful and perfect bitumen now. It used to be a complete goat track a couple of years ago. But now it's a great section of road to practice your cornering skills. But quickly we're up on top of the mountain and we're stopping at Jerry's Kitchen. Jerry's is very popular on the weekend, as you can see by all the bikes that are sitting here at the moment. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's almost its busiest time. In fact, there are so many people here, we decide that we'll take a short break and continue on without buying coffee. Jerry's built this business up from nothing. It used to be an abandoned petrol station, but they moved in and slowly built it up into the motorcycle mecca that it now is. The staff are friendly and efficient, and the coffee and food are great. And it comes with its own welcoming committee. Harley and Delmore. They're happy to sit around and wait for their treats, and then they just bugger off looking for someone else. But that's okay, they've got their welcoming job to do for everyone else. It's still chilly today and they've still got their coats on, big wusses that they are. So let's get into the essential elements of a perfect day ride. Element number 1 is not to have too many riders in the group. For me, 5 is probably the maximum. More than that, and you really aren't riding together. You're simply riding to the same destination. Number 2, the weather. A nice, cool, sunny day with little or no wind is ideal in my book. Some masochist might think it's fun, but I don't really enjoy riding in cold, rainy weather. The third important element is time. You need more time than is required to simply do the distance. This allows for scheduled and unscheduled stops. It enables you to stop if something interesting is found and you didn't plan for it. Our rule of thumb is no more than 300 kilometres for a day ride. And it's amazing how much time can be taken up whenever you stop, particularly if there was a few riders in the group. One of our mates in particular has got so many stories, it's really hard to get him back on the bike once we've stopped. But that's fine with me because I'm such an antisocial, I don't like to talk. I'd rather let other people do it. Element number 4 is speed. It should be made clear to all that they must ride to their own pace. The lead rider shouldn't ride faster than the speed limit. It tends to ruin everyone's day if a rider feels pressured to ride faster than they're comfortable and then has an accident. No one wants to spend their day waiting for an ambulance, after all. Element number 5 is fuel. The rule for a group ride is always start with a full tank. It's annoying to have to stop multiple times for people who suddenly realise that they're running low on fuel. Also, if one person stops for fuel because they've got a smaller fuel range than the others, everyone should fill up then. After about 35 kilometres of reasonable gravel road, we come to the little town of St Albans. St Albans is a small and historic village on the Macdonald River in New South Wales, and it's about 94 kilometres northwest of Sydney. The only shop is the interesting old pub, and there's free camping next to the river. Element number 6, planned stops. It's always good to have some idea of where you're going to stop. This allows everyone to know where to find you if they get separated, and it's always good to know that the stop has seating and coffee etc. so that you can sit and talk about the ride or just life in general. Element number 7, the route plan. The ideal route for me for a day ride has no traffic commute. We're fortunate in that we live in a semi-rural area and don't have to ride through or out of a city to get to good riding roads. The route should have some twisty sections and some nice open countryside, and throw in a bit of gravel road for added adventure. And lastly, and most importantly, element number 8, don't film the ride. It's a pain for other riders if you're always stopping to film or shoving a camera in their faces every time you stop. It takes very good friends to put up with some wally who wants to film and then display them all on YouTube. We've reached our lunch destination at Wiseman's Ferry. Wiseman's Ferry has the distinction of being the oldest ferry crossing still in operation in New South Wales. The river settlement of Wiseman's Ferry is located in the heart of the Hawkesbury River, around 60 kilometres northwest of Sydney. And this is conveniently about 150 kilometres from home. But now it's time to sit and relax and eat pies and cakes. What more could one want? We're taking a different route to get home, and it's all bitumen from here. So thank you Norman on his 1250 BMW and Wendy on her Honda 500X. And I've been riding my trusty Honda NC 750X. Except for element number 8, this has been a perfect day ride.